Okay, I'm going to try and do a breakneck speed georeferencing demonstration. What I've done here is I've added 3 data sets. The 1953 black and white image doesn't have any spatial reference. It's just a static, dumb image. And then I've got 2 images from the USGS. These are tiles that sit side by side that have spatial reference. And the first thing I'd recommend doing is just going in and checking out what that is. If we go to the spatial reference, we're in NAT83 UTM zone 10. I would go in first and verify that the map itself is set to that same coordinate system. If it didn't pick that up, we want to make sure that we're overwriting this awful base map one. So here I can just pull from the existing data and set the view or the display coordinate system to UTM. Okay, we should see a shift in the data now. Now our map is drawing in the right one for our data. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom to one of these layers. We don't know where this guy is sitting. It's out in space somewhere. I'm going to turn off the base map because we don't need it. But now these 2 are sitting side by side. You can see that St. Helena is here. And there's the one tile. I'm just toggling it on and off. So what I would recommend is just getting familiar with the landscape a little bit. You can see that the railroad, whether you know it's railroad or not, doesn't matter, comes in here and they intersect, they intersect at the river. So if I can zoom back in here, here's the river, and then these 2 roads come in and intersect here. That's one great spot, and then there's a plane, biplane looking building from the top right here. And so I'm going to use these 2 as my areas to lock the other image together. So I can right click on this one, and you can make it easier for yourself and force it to fit, but let's just grunt through this. Zoom to layer. It's sitting out in the middle of nowhere, but here you can see those 2 roads coming together, and if we zoom in, we'll see the biplane. So why don't we start with the front door of the biplane. All right, so we're going to go to imagery and georeference, and we're going to add control points. You want to click on the old image first. So I'm just going to go to the middle of the front door on the old image, and then I'm going to right click, zoom to layer, back to this guy, and zoom in. You can use the C key to pan. Zoom in a little bit more, and I'm going to lock it to the front door of the biplane building. And now, if I turn this off, we should see that at least this has snapped to the right location. It's not going to be oriented correctly. But I'm going to zoom out a little bit and find where these come together at the river. Zoom in. And I'm just going to roughly look for that location. I'm going to add a control point starting on the old image first, and then turn these back on. And use the C to pan. It'll cooperate with me here. To that same location where they intersect at the river, very coarsely. Set my second control point, and now when I turn these off, hopefully we'll see that now we have orientation. So we've oriented and snapped the black and white to the correct location. Now we can go out and collect some more points, but I would recommend, if you zoom out and look at this, and if you don't know anything about St. Helena, it's in the valley and it's surrounded by some mountains, and I would not recommend, oh come on, it's just not going to pan. We've got mountains here. Let me zoom out a little bit. The valley and the mountains, I would not pick locations that are up here because the image is going to naturally want to bend a little bit. Stay focused on downtown and add some more control points. Now, you're going to want to open the table and take a look at what you're creating here. Let's add a couple more. Oopsies, I didn't want to do that. Just accidentally added a point, so I clicked to create a pair, and I'm just going to delete that one. I'm going to highlight it here and delete, oh, not delete all, delete my selected one. Okay, so let's go up here and find maybe the corner of this intersection. Let's do this one. All right, so I'm going to add a control point, click at the corner of this intersection, and turn my other image on. It's looking pretty close. I'm going to use my C to pan, even though it's refusing to work. I think my keyboard is stuck. Let's see if we can find a building in here. Okay, so I've added a couple of points. Now you can see that it's calculating the residual. This is the horizontal error in the points. And what you'd want to do is maybe create, 6 to 8 control points and then look at these. And if you decide that you've got some that have very high error, you can turn them off and watch it recalculate the other ones. Now you have to have more than 4 points in here to have a residual calculated. But if you can get your residuals down, you can go ahead and just delete the ones that are selected using that same tool. And then it'll recalculate your residual errors and show you the kind of fit you're getting. So you can delete, like let's just say we wanted to delete one of our first points. You might want to go back in then, because they're in such good central locations, and recreate those links. The front door or some other corner of this building that's highly visible. Okay, so that's that. Questions, let me know.